Hello everyone, it's your host, Get Good Fox, and welcome back to State of Decay 2 Lethal Zone Beta. Hyper Community World Tour continues. So today, we're going to be finishing up this base, and also, we're going to be reviewing this base, because it is basically done, and I do know how I'm going to mop up the base. We need to continue playing as Emmy, because she is our super waifu cafeteria squad member, and I'm going to need her, I need her leveled up in order to get it. So, what are we going to do to finish it up? Well, I have prepped a character in the Legacy Bank. And that character is a sheriff, meaning we can upgrade, and I have brought a few extra items along with me so that, with that character, so that we can finish things up, including the officer's quarters and a advanced biochem station, so the next area we go to, we can just plow through the things a little faster and get to the base reviews, because I know that's what you guys want to see. So first off, let's sell some of this. Oh, looks like we still need more. That's fine. That takes us up to, we only need 1,200. We need 1,200 influence in order to actually do this, and that's perfectly fine. But anyways, let's talk about the Barricaded strip mall. This base is the largest of its kind, obviously, so it's, you know, it's something to pay attention to. You know, you always want to know how good the biggest bases are. What you're looking at are 3 large facilities. You've got 4 customizable small facilities, but then you get a bunch of bonus facilities. And that's really the big thing about the strip mall. The strip mall has a bunch of bonus facilities. You've got your urgent care. This should be equal to a... Yes, this is equal to a level 3 infirmary, so you've got an infirmary. Pretty much every one of your communities would have one of these, so I think it's completely fair to count this as a fifth small facility, so that's quite good. Over here, you got the Taekwondo Gym. This is equal to a level 2. In fact, it might be ever so slightly better than a dojo level 2 or a gym level 2. So I would say that, yeah, the gym is really good. I would include it in pretty much all of my builds. So I would say you're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small facilities, which is pretty nice, I would say. And then you've got a latrine. I don't really think the latrine is super good. Like, it tends to be better in the early game when you actually need the morale more, but I don't think it's as good later in the game. So I wouldn't really count that as much of a facility, especially because we're going to be building a officer's quarters, and the officer's quarters has a latrine built into it. So, like, I don't think that one is particularly good. Let's load up on some stuff to sell. Also, I'm going to want some of it, because I want to continue, even though this character's tired, I want to try to knock out her standing. She's so close to it. So I don't think that is too good. And then over here, you've got a kitchen. The kitchen requires a lot of investment. Like, one of the things is you could make energy drinks, but the thing is, like, you do need cooking and chemistry. So it's something that, chemistry is a pretty good skill. But cooking, it's a little more questionable. Like, you can't even use the feast without cooking. Like, you really need cooking to activate it. And the things that the kitchen does, I don't think they're typically... Basically, okay, here's the issue with the kitchen. The bonuses that the kitchen give you, they're either a little too expensive in the beginning of the game, especially in Lethal Zone, or when you get past the beginning of the game, they're a little too... then they don't matter anymore. Like, the morale that you get from cooking is not going to matter once you get going. Like, it would be useful in the beginning of the game, but once you get past the beginning of the game, it's not going to be all that useful. But honestly, that's where the latrine comes into play in the beginning of the game, which is why I'm not a big fan of cooking. I mean, there is some argument for it. Like, cuisine, for example, does give you a plus influence bonus, which is pretty nice because if you stack up a decent bit of plus influence, it starts to make a huge difference.
Let's see what we have here.
Let's go ahead and sell... Oh, they have just enough. Okay, we could sell these and some of those. Okay, we have just enough now. Might just buy this as well.
Would you like to trade?
Cool. Sounds good.
And then I can just sell... There. Okay, so now we have enough in order to do this ability right here, Recruit Legacy Survivor, 1200 Influence. And then we're going to go grab a character called Drew. Because Drew is a sheriff. And then I also packed up Drew with a bunch of useful stuff, including things I can sell in order to help offset the cost of recruiting her to begin with. So, but basically, to get back on the subject of the barricaded strip mall, I don't think a latrine really is, I'm not really going to count that as much of a facility. It's going to be like a quarter of a facility. And same with a kitchen. I don't really consider a kitchen to be particularly good. Like, yes, you can invest into it and you can get more out of it, but that is the point of the Super Waifu Cafeteria Squad. The point of the Super Waifu Cafeteria Squad is that you don't have to use any of those facilities. And by not needing to use them, you basically free yourself up from a facility. So overall, I would say the relevant facilities is that it has 3 large, and then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 small, plus the gym, plus the urgent care. I would say those are the ones that actually make a difference. That's pretty good though, still. Now, a downside is that you only get 1 outdoor small slot. Why does that matter? Well, you can't configure outdoor exclusive facilities very well. So, for example, if you compare this to Whitney Field has 4 small outdoors. So if you wanted to mass produce things, you could build 2 stills if you want. You could build 3 stills if you want. If you really wanted to, you could even build 4 stills, and maybe you would temporarily do that to mass produce things. You never have that option on the barricaded strip mall because of the fact that there's only 1 small facility available. Let's go ahead and call in our new character.
Hello? Anyone out there? I wonder if anyone can hear me.
Got it. I'll see if our network contacts can find someone nearby who can help you out.
All right, where's Drew at? Here's Drew right here. Drew is a pretty good character. As you can see, she's loaded up with a bunch of stuff, and that is all to kind of, once again, help me compensate for her...
Good news. I have someone nearby.
the cost of... because now we're down to 92 influence.
Hey there.
Let's go ahead and swap over to Drew. And now what we can do is... so Drew is really good because she's got tough negotiation. That's a really good hero bonus. We will have to level it up. It's not going to play a role in this particular playthrough. Also, she did come with a rucksack of building materials. And also a bunch of this stuff. So all of that we could sell to make our money back. Prefab quarters, biochem station, the salvage furnace, just stuff I might need. Let's go ahead and tear this down, though. And now what we can do is put in the officers' quarters, which will basically complete this base in a way that I'm happier with. We can also stop this. Actually, let's go ahead and... we need a sheriff leader to finish that up. Not a big deal. I just want her here for now. And I guess I'll let those continue building because that I don't want to move around my building materials. Where is the... it's inside one of these rooms. Shooting range. So okay, it's right outdoors. Right here, then. Trade depot. Is it here? There we go. Deposit 5 materials. Okay, so... I do want to use her. I do want to get her into a... I do want to get her leveled up. Probably, like, it probably won't be a big deal here, but, you know, we've got the prefab... and that is something that would, you know, polish up the build. It's not like a super ultra completed build, but I think it's enough for you to get an idea of like what it should look like. But we do want to get Emmy leveled up. But yeah, so the issue here is overall I would say that 3 large facilities are fantastic, and I think 6 small facilities is also really good. So it has a bit of the best of both worlds. And I would say maybe it's like 6.5 facilities if we count the what we have of the latrine and what we have from the, what do you call it?
I wish I had room for that.
Let me put all the... we don't need money right now. We're good on money. I do want that though. Let me repair. But what we get from the latrine, like I said, it's definitely not worth a full facility. And a kitchen, unless you're going into a really high investment kitchen build, and like I said, I don't think a high investment kitchen build is a good strategy. But like you could then make use out of it. But for the most part, I think that you're not going to get a whole lot of value there. Now we can pack these up, and we're basically done. I think what we'll do is, I do want to get this character maxed out. So what I'm going to do is search for infestations.
What can you tell me about my location?
Because I basically what we're not going to finish off the rest of the plague arts or anything.
There sure are a lot of infestations cropping up lately.
And that's because I just think it's too time consuming, and I think what I really want to do is I mainly want to hit these new bases. We'll re-review all of the bases, and then what we'll do is we'll start a new themed playthrough. Because I do have some ideas for themed playthroughs. People have been asking for them. And I'm like, you know what? There's plenty of episodes in State of Decay 2 still. So I'm not. On the one hand, I was kind of a little worried. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I don't want to run out of like content stuff. So there we go. We got the officers' quarters in. With the officers' quarters, let me see if I have a white noise machine. I do not. So here you can see clean the toilets. So we can do. I guess we could do them both. You could be like, oh, we can clean all of the toilets. Amazing. Where is this infest? Oh, it's in the home. It's inside the home base area. That's fine, I guess. All we gotta do is drive up here, past the cannibals. So, how good is the Barricaded strip mall? I would say it's pretty good overall. It also has the added benefit that the landmark outpost is pretty good. Sasser is a pretty good outpost. And then we got to go over here. Like, Sasser Regional Hospital is pretty good. And the Barricaded Strip Mall, it does have a lot of customization options. It does have its downsides, though. Like I said, one of its downsides is that you have to live in Drucker County, which is like, I would say, even after learning some of the shortcuts and whatnot, I still just don't like it. I just don't want to, frankly, I just don't like this map. I don't think it's very fun. And I don't think that's a controversial thing either. Like, I don't think that I think it's a pretty common thing that people agree. Even with the shortcuts, I think people just don't like this map. The fact that Undead Labs had to go back and add shortcuts, I think kind of is an indicator that it's not just people, like, whining and complaining. Like, it was a fairly common thing. Should be another... Let's go in from this direction. There it is. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, we're so close. We're so close to getting it. We just need to get a little more. Let's back out of here. We might be able to squish some of these regular zombies. And if we squish some of these zombies, they're going to count as a horde. And then we might be able to knock out our I just want to level this up so bad. So, like I said, it does have its downsides. One, you got to live on Drucker County. Now, for me, that's a big negative. Like, I generally would never play on Drucker County unless I was kind of like asked to. Otherwise, I just don't like the map. It's easily my least favorite map. And, some people will say, well, don't you want to live on the map with the best base? Well, one, I don't think that it's not... One, the Barricaded Strip Mall isn't the best base. I know there is a reasonable argument to... it's a contender. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to take that away from it. But it's definitely not as good as Whitney Field. Is it as good as the Farmland Compound? Maybe. Like I said, it does have a lot of facility customization options. However... Whitney Field is still, it's just the best base. Like that, it's just insane. And especially if you're building a forever community. If you're building a community where you want to just gather up all of the things, build like a maxed out community that stores everything, You're not going to beat Whitney Field simply because Whitney Field lets you collect all of the most expensive stuff in the game that you want to, like, you know, just kind of accumulate on. Like, for example, when a rare skills trader appears, and let's say you want to buy all of his books so that you can start collecting all the books, or if a mysterious wandering trader appears, and let's say you want to collect all of his guns, all of his retraining manuals, just to kind of stockpile them up. Well, like, that's a ton of influence, and Whitney Field is what's going to help you just get all of it back. Because Whitney Field is it's just insane like that. Oh, these guys need to go. We can get these guys and maybe... Oh, nope, they're going to fall over. Unfortunate, because that won't count. Oh, a feral. Perfect. This is it right here. Squish the feral, and we're going to be good. There we go. Okay, so Emmy now has meal plans, so we got her back on her feet. And we are going to be ready. Let's take a look at our base status. Like, there are definitely things we could have done, but like I said, I'm not going to use up any more episodes other than this to do it. Like, I think this is a sufficient amount. And I think we've built the base up enough to kind of show you what the base looks like, what it's going to be good at. And overall, like I said, it is a good base. Like, there's a lot of building options. But as far as the cons, I think the cons outweigh the pluses because, like I said, one, we're on Drucker County. I know Drucker County has Sasser Regional Hospital, and Sasser Regional Hospital, it's decent. You know, you can see here, you know, you've got the injury resistance, it's solid. You got the hygiene, it's solid. You got preventative care, extra health, it's solid. All of it's good. There's no doubt about it. There are some other really good bases on this map. Mike's Concrete was pretty good. You know, Wally's was surprisingly good. There are definitely better four-man bases out there, like the Providence Ridge bases, although they might be 5. I can't remember clearly, but that's where we're going to be going next. Knights is, like I said, there are some convenient bases, despite it being Drucker County. The problem, though, it's Drucker County. That's really the big killer. It's one of those things where you're either one of the few people who can just deal with Drucker County, or you're one of the very large amount of people who are just like, you know, I don't care if the Barricaded strip mall is decent. I just don't want to go. I want to live in the farmland compound. That's what a lot of people want to do. They either want to live in Whitney Field or they want to live in the farm compound, and I don't blame them for that. I would say, like, that's probably the default good strategy. Let's go ahead and play as Drew. I don't think we're gonna actually be able to level her up, but I might as well just I'll get some points into her. Also, we needed her for the fact that apparently we didn't have a sheriff, which is kind of wild. But you know, sometimes that's just the way it works. But I corrected it. Using the Forever community, we can now correct that. Oh yeah, look at that. We cleaned up all the toilets. So if you've never used an officer's quarters is really good, especially if you have a white noise machine. So by default, you get 2 beds. That's just like an incidental bonus. I wouldn't really count that a major bonus. You do have to build it indoors, and you also need, you got to play Daybreak to unlock it and afford it. So the first bonus you get is the Privileges of Rank, which is 10 morale. You can clean the toilets. That's another 10 morale, so you're up to 20. Now, if you had a white noise machine, you could plug it in here. Now you'd be up to 30 morale. And then you get these bonuses right here. Meta-analysis, which gives you, for 1 hour, you get 50% build speed and build action speed. Or 50% facility speed and 25% build speed. Yeah, that's okay. It's not that. I mean, actually, it's not bad. It helps you do training faster. So if we were slamming this ability to train, which, like, we don't have it because we need a sheriff, but it would let you slam those abilities faster because you would get the speed up. Schedule building, +2 labor. It does help for building. It's not, like, insane, though. But what is pretty good is the survival retrospective. Survival retrospective, an extra 33% EXP, stacks with all of your training, stacks with any activities you're on, combined with meta-analysis where you can basically train faster, like you could slam those abilities quicker. It's honestly pretty good. And that's why, I mean, I do think it is a worthy choice indoors. I haven't been using it lately simply because, a lot of the facilities that or a lot of the really good bases, they actually don't have quite enough small facilities for it. Like, it's typically my 6th facility choice. And, oh, we can grab these stuff in these plague arts. And the reason why I haven't really been prioritizing it is simply because the lounge gets you pretty much all the morale you need. The morale that you get from the officers' quarters, I do think is a little overkill. We can't demonstrate that because, unfortunately, we would need movie night. Movie night gives you like 25 morale to everybody, plus whatever the passive bonuses for the lounge are. Like I said, it's a little overkill. You know, maybe overkill is good. You know, maybe you don't mind overkill, but it just hasn't really fit into a lot of my bases. And although, like I said, some of the bonuses are pretty nice. Like the extra EXP is nice. The facility action speed is nice. It's just one of those things where it's not necessary. It's just a nice bonus, which is why I've kind of. It's not a bad facility. Don't get me wrong. It is my 6th choice essentially, but I just haven't really been able to fit it into my builds. I think that's the basic way to describe it. Let me throw this in here. I need the 8 slots in order to fully loot these plague arts. So officers' quarters, it's good. In fact, it could even be great if maybe if you're not able to make the level 3 lounge, which is funny because in our case we're not able to make the level 3 lounge. So the officers' quarters is actually really good. Oh, locked. Oh, locked. Okay, let's check the back door. Wait, do I have stealth? Nope. Back door. Are all 3 of them locked? Nope. One of them, you know, odds are good that one of the doors isn't locked. And what you can do now is just go right over here, and then you can unlock the 2 doors just like that. And I can grab all this stuff. Very nice. But yeah, for my closing thoughts on the Barricaded Strip Mall, there's no doubt about it. It's a very strong base. I would say it's even it's a top. I would say it's in the top 3. It's a really good base. But if we consider the fact that it's also a Drucker County base, so basically the base on its own, purely statistically, not including anything else, it is definitely a good base. But if you factor in that it is a Drucker County, that does take a lot of points off of it. Like being a Drucker County base, I mean, just playing on playing on Drucker County is such an unpleasant experience. So it's just like, and it's one of those things where some people have acquired a taste for it, but most people have not. But here's the good news, because I know some people, they want to always live in the best base. The good news is that you don't have to do Drucker County. Because while the Barricaded Strip Mall is good, it's definitely not the best. You can just live in Whitney Field. Whitney Field is the best. But if you're tired of Whitney Field and you want something else, this base does give you some options. That said, I don't think it gives you... Basically, if you're tired of Whitney Field, I don't think this base is going to be very fun or interesting, mainly because it is still quite similar to Whitney Field. It's they both have 3 large facilities, so you're going to be having a pretty similar setup there. And then it has a bunch of small facilities, and they do add up to a lot. They are pretty good, but it's not a very different experience. I would definitely recommend, if you're tired of Whitney Field, going to the farmland compound in Trumbull Valley, because Trumbull Valley, you get 4 large facilities. That is a different experience. And you don't get as many small facilities, so you do have to work around that. It's a very, very good base, and it does offer a different experience. It also has a pretty good landmark location, the Echo Labs. Of course, if your community is, decently built up, maybe you don't need that. On the other hand, you do get there are the plague bonuses, like for health and stamina, though it does make you more vulnerable to infection. Maybe that's something that you find concerning. I think those guys have, I think we can sell to those guys. Let me see if we can earn some of our cash back. Because now that it's daytime, it should have reset. We don't need seeds. or these, or those, or these, or those. And then let me load up some of these. So it's basically an issue of, like, it is a good base, but it's Drucker County. And, like, I have a lot of trouble recommending. I have a lot of trouble just saying, oh, yeah, just use this base, it's awesome. Yes, if you want to live in Drucker County, it is a good base. That said, honestly, unless you're planning to stay in Drucker County, I would just go with the Mike's Concrete, mainly because it's easier to move into, and if you're just going to be here temporarily, I don't think it's worth all of the investment to go all the way. And there we go, yeah, so they did get their money back. I'll take the toolkit, actually, and then I'll sell these. Nice. Okay, so now we're back up to 500. That's, like, a lot better. What kind of... Get... There's, like, screaming zombies. There's, like, nothing you can do about them. I mean, the only thing you can do about screaming zombies is to either never be seen or just instantly kill all of them. Like, just shoot every single zombie with, like, a silenced gun or a crossbow. Because, like, they're just gonna scream. And if they just feel like it, that could be the first thing they do. They could just look at you and scream, and that could be, like, their very first action against you. But, yes, I do think that Mike's Concrete... okay, what are the best bases on Drucker County? I would say that it is Drucker County, its best base is either Mike's Concrete or the Barricaded Strip Mall, depending on what you're staying for. If you choose to stay for a long time, like you're doing like a significant stay, then yes, the Barricaded Strip Mall is going to be king. But, if you're just like beating a legacy and you just kind of wanted to change a pace, you know, you just want something that looks a little different, then I would say Mike's Concrete is the way to go. Because Mike's Concrete, it's really good. Like, there's no doubt about it. Mike's Concrete is a great base. But, oh, this is a close combat character? I didn't know that. I should have read better. Yeah, this is a close combat character.
Not bad.
Probably should have paid attention to her stats. But otherwise, like, Mike's is great. Like, it's a good base. Like, it's... There we go. Let me get some distance on these jerks. Because two large and 6 small, like I said, that's basically equal to the, what do you call it, the container fort. Because once again, you know, people will say, how can it be equal? Like, the bonuses in the container fort, they're not very good. Like, the castle doctrine, it's not very good. The 8 beds, it's not very good. The expanded storage, it's not very good. And the thing is, Mike's Concrete has its own things that are nice. Like, it's got, it may not, you know, okay, so Container Fort has its storage, Mike's Concrete has the fuel. Container Fort has, what do you call it, the beds and the castle doctrine. Mike's Concrete has the portable or the built-in generator, which does not count away from, you know, your 6 available facilities, which is nice. And while, you know, if you have amenities, obviously the generator's not going to be that good. But yeah, I mean, if you are getting if you're either A, not playing with amenities, or B, you are getting your next layer of boons, then yeah, like, the generator is going to be really nice because it's better than an outpost, actually, because the base is really good even with the generator taking up that slot. The generator is now a level 3 generator equivalent, so you don't even need to put fuel into it manually. And on top of that, when you had to feed the generator manually, it used up more fuel. So the level 3 generator, though, it's basically equal to the one that you would get from having a trader, because you could build the generator level 1, 2, 3, and up to 3 if you have a trader, or not a trader, a builder. It's basically equal to it. And the level 3 generator is permanent power for 1 fuel per day. And that's pretty good. That's actually better than an outpost. It saves you the money. In fact, the cost of moving in pays for... actually, no, the outpost would be even more expensive. Let's see if we can find one. Where's a utility outpost at? Utilities. I'm sure we've discovered some along. Here we go. Yeah, it would cost $2,000, and it only costs $1,500 to get into, what do you call it? Mike's Concrete. So it's even a better deal there. So it's basically like, it's like you get power cheaper for a lower requirement, and you even save an outpost slot. So you get to keep an outpost slot as well, which is why it is a relevant bonus. Same with More and More. More and More is probably the best base in Cascade Hills, and I would say, like, generally speaking, unless you're planning to stay for a long time in Drucker County, Mike's Concrete is the best base in Drucker County. Unless, like I said, if you're going to do like 100 days, then sure, the Barricaded Strip Mall is going to be better. But in all of the other situations, I would say that Mike's is the way to go. Like, if I come back here again, I would probably live in Mike's Concrete. Like, I don't see any reason to go all the way, because like I said, the 3,500 influence, you need all the parts to build it up. Mike's Concrete, it's perfectly good. And if I was doing a hardcore playthrough without amenities, I absolutely would go to Mike's Concrete, because it's got plenty of space and it's got the very fantastic level 3 generator. Anyways, that is going to conclude my review of both the Barricaded Strip Mall and Drucker County in general. So, once again, just to wrap up my thoughts, I do think this is a really good base. I think it is, if you just take it by its facilities, I do think it's like a top 3 base in the game, alongside Farmland Compound and Whitney Field. But, like I said, it's Drucker County. Some people aren't going to care about that. They're going to think Drucker County is great. But, like, I don't think it's unjust to say that is like a minority kind of thing. Like, I think it's very much an acquired taste in Drucker County, and even after trying out, you told me to try out the shortcuts, I still hate this map, even with the shortcuts. Maybe I'll visit it periodically, but it's just not, I would never want to spend a relevant amount of time in Drucker County. It's just not an enjoyable area to drive around in, and I don't think Sasser or the Barricaded Strip Mall or the shortcuts, all of those combined, are enough to change my opinion on it. But that's what I think, and I know that's what you guys come for. You know, maybe I don't tell you stuff you agree with, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll always tell you what I actually think, and that's what I think of Drucker County. Anyways, we're going to be moving on into Providence Ridge next. I am not going to clear out the play guards. That's going to be next episode. We're just going to drive right over here, and we will continue on. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Are you a Barricaded Strip Mall enjoyer? Are you a Mike's Concrete enjoyer? Are you a Drucker County enjoyer? Let me know down in the comments section. But until next time, like the video if it was entertaining. I tell people, like the video, subscribe to my channel. For more Stave Decay 2 content, consider signing up as a member or giving me a tip. Give me like a buck or two if you enjoyed the video. But of course, at the end of the day, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.